What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today we're going to be getting into my Stormbrand Assassin build I made for 3.18. This is going to be the update of the previous build video that I posted to my channel. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend checking that one out before you watch this one, because this is going to just be a continuation of that video. Any updates that I mentioned, upgrades that I recommended that you guys should take, I took some of them, and I just wanted it to show what the upgrades look like. How does it feel? Is it worth the money, investment, all that kind of stuff? I just want to put all that out there so you guys have the most information available to make your decisions on what builds you want to play. And Stormbrand Assassin is one of my favorite builds in the game. I've made it many leagues, and the meta has always been shifting. This meta has been the meta for the need to be the tankiest of any other meta, and this build does not really meet the standard of how tanky you need to be, how much recovery or sustain you need to have to make sure you have a comfortable build. So if you want to take this build really far, it can do that, but the sustainability, the defenses aren't fully there. We are running determination, defiance banner, vitality, and cast 1 damage taken molten shell, and then we do have a little bit of lightning damage leached as energy shield. But other than that, we don't have much defenses. We are running petrified blood, so we're pretty much halving our life. We are running the glorious vanity, so we can get the corrupted soul, so we're getting 50% or 15% of our life as max ES. So we are a hybrid build, so makes us a little bit better than we were before. But honestly, this build is very squishy. It does die to a lot of things. Chaos damage is not our friend, because we're not positive in the chaos res. My build isn't. If your build is, then you're not going to be worrying about it nearly as much. But unfortunately, this build isn't the defensive standard that we grew to know as the meta builds in 3.18. But I'm naming all these negatives. Time to talk about the positives. This build is one of the most fun to play. You see all these explosions. Unfortunately, we're not running Herald of Ice, or we're not occultists, so we're not getting those pop noises. So you don't really have the satisfying noise when you pop a full screen, but you do get the visual of just seeing a little bit of sparks and everything gone the next second. So very fun build, and it's a playstyle I very much enjoy. Impulses is still usable after all the nerfs there's been in the previous leagues, but it's not the I don't know, it's still a very fun tool to use, and I just wanted to see if it's still viable in this shifting meta, and definitely is. So I'm going to be talking about, I've made a lot of changes to this build, and then reverted them, and change and revert. So I just want to talk about everything. So we're going to talk about all the things on this build. First thing I want to mention, I never got the power charge rings. Those would definitely make the build very powerful, but unfortunately I never went for it because it's very expensive, and to get like a non crazy expensive one, to get like a 10x or under power charge ring, it basically has power charge and then like mana regen and really bad stats. So if you're gonna want to have a build that is fully rounded, you're gonna need to spend a lot of currency on just the ring slots. And now the boots, I never got Tailwind Onslaught boots because I just didn't want to pay for them. They're about 10x, and I didn't want to buy it, and that was my excuse. If you're looking at the POB, I add about 500,000 DPS Tailwind Onslaught. So, and then the next upgrade I actually made was I got Curse on Hit gloves on the Assassin Smiths. You can get Ellie weakness on hit, but I believe Ellie weakness on hit is more expensive, and conductivity is better for this build, so go with that if you can find one. It does add quite a bit of DPS. Assassin's Mark is a better curse to use on this build, but unfortunately we don't have a way to automatically apply it. Mark on hit doesn't work for spells. If you wanted to like cast it somehow, or yeah, cast, imagine casting it, or if you wanted to use a focus on your helmet, that's perfectly acceptable. There's a lot of different ways you can apply Assassin's Mark, but none of them felt very clean, and just having a free curse on your gloves just was my favorite option. And it's really not that expensive once you hit like mid to late league. These gloves aren't too expensive. And yeah, I never transferred over my headhunter, and I don't have a mage blood, so didn't really experiment with that yet. But I felt very good with this build overall. There's a lot of little changes with the gems I made, so I'm going to go over the gems really quick. So we're still using Determination, Zealotry, Wrath, Enlighten, still the same 6 link. I took off Ice Bite. If you notice on here, I took off Ice Bite, replaced it with increased critical damage support, which is very, very good for our build. And we could do that because I grabbed the Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh Jewel. This one was about 14x when I bought it. I guess it went up in price. And this one was about 4x, and it's about 6x now. So it's just fluctuating a little bit. But these 2 gems are very, very good. If you're reading what it says, +1 maximum frenzy and power charge. Very, very good for our build. Chance to gain frenzy charge and power charge on kill, so therefore we don't need Ice Bite anymore. Damage per frenzy and power charges, we're getting 11, so that's 55% each, so that's 110% damage. And then I'm not utilizing the power or frenzy charge while channeling, but if you're going to take this build and do bosses, or if you know there's phases between things you're doing, or whatever you're doing like before a harvest, you can just buy some channel skill like Storm Burst or Scorching Ray, or just some random channeling skill, and just channel it. Keep it level 1 so it's a really low mana cost, and then you'll just get all your power charges and frenzy charges between the phases, so you don't, because we're only getting power and frenzy. We're getting power charge on hit, but we're getting frenzy charge on kill. So if you want to sustain max, you just buy channeling skill, slot it somewhere, figure that out. Something I recently changed and I'm actually sort of liking. We did have mana issues. Mana issues were pretty annoying. Stormbrand does cost a pretty penny, 46, and we do have an Enlighten. I could get a alternate quality Enlighten, and this will help it out a little bit, but not enough to make it very good. So I wanted to get a Clarity in this build, and I was trying to figure out where to fit in Clarity, and I got the idea to do Petrified Blood, Arrogance. We had that going before. So our pool looked like this, and then if we put an Enlighten on, we're over the amount of life we should have, so we're no longer abusing the Pain Attunement. And then I figured to slot in a Clarity, and then if I slot in Clarity, we are losing more life than if we're not using it, obviously, but in the end, we get almost free Clarity. I think we're using around 100 life for a level 20 Clarity. I think that's what I POB'd it as, and it's kind of worth it to me because now I have no mana issues pretty much ever. So very good. I could have something on left click if I wanted to now and feel good about my mana, so that's a really good change I made. Defiance Banner, Vitality, and then I did have an Enlighten spec in here before, but you're only getting 10 mana. If both of these are level 20, you're getting 10 mana back from a level 3 Enlighten, so I didn't feel like that was a valuable gem socket anymore. I had free space, so I was using it before. Now have a little bit of socket pressure finally. I had almost 0 socket pressure while building this build entirely, so I was trying to figure out things. I did get an anomalous Arcane Surge because I wanted just a little bit more mana regen. It really doesn't affect it that much. I am using an Enhance just for the brand recall attachment range, so the build feels smoother. And then Flame Dash, you get that recovery rate, so you can go a little bit faster, a little bit zoomier through the build. Really not necessary. The only big thing that's required is having a level 3 Enlighten. on your Determination, Zealotry, and Wrath. Other than that, all the enhances, enlightens. I could sock in an empower in here and it might be better. All of those are unnecessary for this build, so don't worry about it if you're building this build. And then Molten Shell, cast wound damage, increased duration, pretty standard thing to build. My FYI, my reses aren't balanced. They were balanced for this Wise Oak, and then I was changing some things around, and they are no longer balanced, so probably taking off the Wise Oak until I can figure out how to balance it again. But yeah, this was helping. Even more pen. It was kind of overkill. I had way too much pen on this build, but that was about it. Yeah, do I want to talk about anything else? Not really. My next 2 nodes, I'm taking this jewel slot, and then getting another multi-jewel. I have multi-life on this one, and attributes. You need a lot of attributes on this build, so you can get a lot of attributes through your jewels. So if you get enough like jewels with attribute, multi, and all that stuff, you can start taking off all these nodes. Or if you get like a really good like strength or dex jewel on your rings, if you get like 50 on each ring, you could probably take both of these off. It'd be really good. But yeah, still working out the little things of this build, and this is probably as far as I'm going to take it. I might end up scrapping this build because I have a few more builds I want to make before I'm done with this league, and this league is already super late. A lot of players have already quit the league, unfortunately. And I didn't play the league immediately because I got sick the first 4 to 5 weeks of this league. I was sick for, so I unfortunately couldn't play League Start that much. So I'm trying to make up all this lost time now. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed just my little talk and rant about the build. I want to just start pushing out content. I always say I'm trying to just push out content, and then life gets really busy with jobs and stuff. So I plan to post more of my just journey through this league, trying to make more builds, I'm going to start working on the achievements for this build, or on this league, because the achievements are pretty cool this league. You get some armor, which is full sets of armor, and you get wings. So wings are really cool. So 38 I would hopefully plan to hit, but some of these look very difficult, so I'm gonna have to probably make builds specified to finish some of these challenges. So you might see builds that are specifically catered towards that in the future. So yeah, thank you for checking out this video. I'll see you guys next time. Later.